Now, whether it's council tax rebate, pensions credits or carers allowances, could you be missing out on cash entitlement?
Martin Lewis is here with advice. You're going to start with pension credits.
Yeah, this is a big one, actually. With everything I talk about today, some complicated stuff here. If you know someone this may be relevant for, even if it isn't you, then get the message out there to them, because some of this is important, especially this first one. There are 1.3 million over 63s missing out on pension credit that can be worth an average of £50 a week to them. And many of these are the poorest in society who are really struggling. Now, what pension credit does is it tops up your income if your income isn't big enough. So any pensioner who's got less than £155 coming in a week, or if there are a couple less than £237 coming in a week, I always say may here because it never is, may be eligible for pension credit. And even some with a little bit more, if you've got savings, may be eligible for a little bit of a top up. Now, this, again, it's complicated. If that rings a bell, call the pension service and ask them, or get onto gov.uk and fill in the form and find out. And if you're thinking, oh, that might be my mum or that guy who lives next door who I know... Look, let's be straight. There are many people in their 80s and 90s who are really bright and perfectly able to do everything for themselves, but there's some who aren't. And there are some who don't like the idea of getting money from the state, even though they've paid in for all of their life and are entitled to it back. So let's just get the message out there. 1.3 million of the poorest pensioners are missing out on this cash, and we need to get that. That's pensions credit.
All right, we're still talking about pensions now. This is don't lose out on your state pension.
OK, this is a bit the other end. This is about... This is going to be important for everything I talk about. To get your full state pension when you retire, you need to have built up enough national insurance credits. You need 35 years for the full amount. Now, to be missing a few years of national insurance credits can have a big impact. If it drops your pension by £10 a week, that's £500 a year. Over 25 years, that's what, £12,500. This is really important. Now, many people will know they changed the child benefit rules a few years ago, and what they said is, if one parent earns over £50,000, you start to lose child benefit until £60,000 when you don't get it. So we have the bizarre scenario that a single parent earning £60,000 won't get child benefit, but a couple both earning £49,500 will get the full amount. So if your child was born since January 2013, many parents who aren't entitled to child benefit don't claim it, which seems perfectly sensible. But the act of claiming child benefit triggers you getting national insurance credits for being a parent that you get if you're not working or earn less than £6,000 a year. So if one of you isn't working and the other earns over 60 grand, you're probably not claiming child benefit, but the non-working parent isn't getting the national insurance credits they're entitled to do so. There's 40,000 parents, it's estimated, in that scenario.
So you wouldn't know that?
No, people haven't got a clue about this. They think, oh, I'm never going to pay it, so I'm never going to get it, I won't claim it. What you either need to do is claim it, and the high-rate taxpayer then has to pay it back in tax, or you can claim it at the zero rate, which means claim it but not get any. And either of those will trigger you to get your national insurance contributions that you should be getting.
That is complicated,
but
isn't it?
You get the point. So if you're not claiming child benefit, and and one of you in the couple isn't working, and you had a child since January 2013, you need to either claim it or claim it at the zero rate to start to get your national insurance credit for your state pension.
Wow, blimey.
And let's move to the next one.
Yeah, grandparents.
So now we understand that the parents get a national insurance credit. If grandparents are looking after a child aged under 12, the parents, in some circumstances, I'm doing one of my big caveats there, in some circumstances, can agree to have the national insurance credits for looking after the child transferred to the grandparent for their state pension entitlement. So a classic example would be both parents are working, so they get their own national insurance credits. The grandparents are doing the babysitting or the care of the kids. Well, in that case, you may be able to transfer your national insurance credit over to the grandparents, and they get it towards their state pension entitlement if they're working after the children and they're looking after children, they're aged under 12.